We got breaking news into CBS Sports HQ. Minnesota Timberwolves big man Naz Reid intends to remain with the franchise on a 5-year, $125 million deal. The deal includes a player option, and it's all according to ESPN. Reid had a player option for the upcoming season, but he's signing a new deal instead. Reid had career high in points, rebounds, and assists per game this season after winning Sixth Man of the Year in 2024. And for more on Naz Reid re-upping for 5 years and $125 million with the T-Wolves, we say hello to John Gonzales of the Beyond the Arc podcast and CBS Sports NBA analyst. John, what's your reaction to Naz Reid making this deal, and why does it seem to make sense for both sides right now?
Yeah, coming into this offseason, Russ, I thought that he would be the main priority for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Evidently, Tim Connolly thought the same. And for Naz Reid, it makes sense to stay put because there would have been a healthy interest, a healthy market for Naz Reid, but he was never going to get as much money as he got here. He declines a $15 million player option. He signs 5 for $125, an average annual value of $25 million. So he gets a nice raise here. And there would have been interest from, there are plenty of teams that need centers, most notably the Golden State Warriors and the Los Angeles Lakers, but neither of those teams would have been able to pay him as much as Minnesota. So for Minnesota, it works out. For Naz Reid, it works out. And really coming into this offseason for the Wolves, it was sort of like a pick 2 of 3 situation, because you had Naz Reid likely to decline his player option. He did. Then you've got Julius Randle with a player option. We'll see what happens with him. And then Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who had his best season as a professional this past season, he's a free agent. So now there's 2 guys remaining, and Tim Connolly has to identify which of them he's going to retain. And then the other one's probably on the road.
Look, and the T-Wolves have been right at the top of the pack there in the Western Conference the last few years. This keeps a major part of that team together now moving forward. You mentioned the decisions that need to be made. What does re-signing Naz Reid have, what does that mean for Julius Randle? Do you see him re-signing?
Yeah, that's a good question. Initially, if you had asked me, say, 4 to 6 months ago, I would have said probably not, or at the very least that he would have picked up his player option. They would have tried to shop him. But after the All-Star break, Russ, he was really good. At the beginning, after he got traded from the Knicks, I was one of the people going, this doesn't fit. It's clunky. They should maybe bring him off the bench. He's a ball stopper. And then all of a sudden, post All-Star break, he kind of changed his game. He became more of a facilitator. It was less about him dribbling the air out of the ball and shooting and not passing the ball, and him really being part of a team system. He looked really good. So now the question is, does he pick up the player option and then they try to figure something out as they move forward, or does he do the same thing that Naz Reid just did, where he declines his player option and they sign him long term? It's a question for Tim Connolly because, as I mentioned, Nickeil Alexander-Walker is also out there. He's a free agent. They would love to have him back, but they can't keep all 3. And then on top of that, they've got Mike Conley, who at 38 years old, he was a starter last year, but he's really reaching the end of his career, and they're looking for an upgrade there too. So still a lot of moving parts for Minnesota, but the priority was for sure Naz Reid, and they get that done.
All right, 1 down, still decisions to be made for one of the best teams in the Western Conference the last few years. John Gonzales, CBS Sports NBA analyst. John, thank you so much. Here's a look at basically the window for the T-Wolves, because you got Ant-Man signed until he becomes a free agent in 2029. Same with Jaden McDaniels. Naz Reid now with a new 5-year deal, and Rudy Gobert through into 2028. Now the question is, how do you fill those spots in around them? Naz Reid re-signing with the T-Wolves.